Hello again, grade 5. How are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine at your places, and I'm very sure that you all are keeping fast for the purification of your mind, heart, body, and soul. Well, guys, as you know very well, that we have started our online lectures, and this is going to be your second lecture of social studies, right? Previously, we have started our topic explorer and explorations, and we have studied about the importance of history and some important explorer from the history. Today we are going to continue the same lecture. Today we'll study a bit more about the some great legendary explorers. So fasten your seatbelts because we are going to start our lecture number 2. Well, grade 5, before we discuss today's lecture, it is very important to talk about the recap of your lecture number 1. Previously, guys, we have discussed about explorations, about the importance of explorations, and we have discussed one of the greatest explorer from the history, Marco Polo, right? Today we'll learn about a bit more, about his important explorations and about his adventures which he experienced during the traveling. Well, before we talk about today's lecture, it is very important, guys, to recall the definition of explorer and explorations because these are the keywords for today's lecture. Well, guys, you can say that exploration is the act of searching, okay? Or you can also add something like that. Exploration is the act of searching for the purpose of discovery of information and resources. And guys, explorer is a person who explores a new or unfamiliar areas, right? And Marco Polo was an explorer because he explored a lot for the rest of the world. So in our today's lecture, we will just gonna throw some light on some important adventures of Marco Polo, which he has mentioned inside his book. Okay, I cannot show you the book, I cannot give you the handout of the book, but guys, I can at least show you the video which will give us the great information about the Marco Polo's book and about the you can say that the travels of Marco Polo, right? So the name of the Marco Polo's book is The Travels of Marco Polo. Well, guys, as you know well that Marco Polo was a merchant and explorer who traveled throughout for the Far East and China for much of his life. Guys, his stories were the basis for what much he knew about Europe and ancient China. As you know that he lived he born at 1254 and he died in 1324 AD. Guys, Marco Polo was born in Venice, Italy in 1254 AD, and his father and uncle was a merchant. And guys, they used to travel for trade to most of the China. So they took Marco Polo along with them when he was 17 years old, or you can say that that is a very young age to travel for you can say that for that much far away from your house. So he was the one who had great interest in exploration. So he was the one who was very much keen to travel, so he decided to leave his country or his city for the sake of explorations. So, guys, he was only 17 years old when he met Mongol Emperor Kublai Khan, right? So, today's lecture is all about the great explorations of Marco Polo. And, guys, you will see inside the video which I'm going to add in today's lecture that how much difficult on that time for how much difficult it was for Marco Polo to travel, because guys, he when he left his home, he was only 17 years old. When he came back to Italy, he was on that time 41 years old. So just imagine, he spent 20 years of his life while traveling. Guys, Marco Polo took 3 years to reach China, from Italy. and he was the one who was appointed as a you can say that as a messenger of the emperor of China, Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan was an extremely powerful personality on that time. So he was very intelligent man, so he appointed Marco Polo as his messenger. And Marco Polo was really much impressed by the lavish life of Chinese people, about their culture, about their wealth, about their tradition, about their infrastructure. So he spent his 20 years of his life in China, while experiencing lots of adventures, and while experiencing and while practicing, or you can say that while getting knowledge about the luxurious and the lavish life of Chinese people. Well, guys, it is very important for all of you to know that Kublai Khan was the emperor of China, and he was the. I think many of you have seen Artughul or Usman, Kurlish of Usman drama serial. In that, you guys may heard the name of Mongols, right? So Kublai Khan from the Mongol tribe, right? So he was the ruler of China on that time. So first time Marco Polo met with him in China during his trip. Well, guys, Marco Polo spent 20 years of his life in China, and he discovered so much. And finally, he wrote his autobiography. And guys, he mentioned inside his biography that he experienced, much more than he's mentioning inside the book. It's mean that the life of Marco Polo is extremely adventurous and full of the great thrilling stories. So fasten your seatbelts, because today I am going to show you the video which will tell us more about the life of Marco Polo.
The Travels of Marco Polo. Born in Venice in 1254, Marco Polo traveled with his father and uncle to Asia and chronicled his travels. He jocularly said, "I did not write half of what I saw, for I knew I would not be believed." In this video, we explore his life as a sailor and bring to light some lesser-known facts about this seafarer. He left for Asia when he was hardly 17 years old, probably the youngest to take up a voyage of this magnitude and proportion. His mother died when he was only 5, and he met his father only when he was 15, as the father and uncle were away on voyages. 2 years later, he took the most important journey of his life, hardly knowing his co-travelers. He traveled to Central Asia and China at a time when there were hardly any road maps or sea courses charted by man. When he returned from his journey, he brought back memories of this new world discovered and helped in demystifying the culture, language, and habits of the people of Asia and China. His travels were not a bed of roses. He faced numerous hardships, some of which he mentioned in his memories. Though to many, it may seem he was the first to explore Asia and China, he wasn't the first. Other European travelers had done it before him. In fact, his father and uncle had traveled to China and met Kublai Khan, and this was a repeat of the journey to the kingdom. It is said that Kublai Khan was interested in learning about Christianity, as he had heard a lot about the Polo family. The emperor wanted them to bring with them 100 Christians with whom he would discuss religion and the holy oil from Jerusalem. They managed to procure oil and took only Marco Polo with them. Marco Polo left home at age 17 and didn't return to Venice for 24 years. Over the course of 2 decades, he traveled around 15,000 miles both on land along the Silk Road and by sea, coming across parts of Asia and, if some highly controversial maps are to be believed, visited parts of the Alaskan coast. When he returned to Venice in 1295, he found them at war with Genoa and took up arms for his motherland. He went to jail after a skirmish, and there he met a romantic writer, Rustichello of Pisa, to whom he narrated his tales of adventure, and after that, the writer prepared the manuscript. It must be said that Marco Polo learnt many languages on his trips, but he doesn't mention Chinese as one of them. Marco Polo is credited with introducing paper money to Europe. Kublai Khan already had done so in China. He encountered many animals during his travels and is said to have brought the Chow Chow breed of dogs, musk deer and yak hitherto unknown in Europe. During his travels, however, he found endless quantities of rare species, costing virtually nothing. And while he may not have brought ice cream to Europe either, as some sources suggest, he does describe an early power shake. The Mongols reportedly dried milk and, while riding, would add water to the milk in a flask. Riding with said flask would cause the mixture to churn, resulting in thick syrup. He believed in sorcery and evil spirits and is said to have met a number of astrologers in the court of Kublai Khan. He has a she breed named after him. Kublai Khan got so attracted to him that he refused to let him go back to his home and after much convincing the emperor allowed him to escort a prince and gave him a golden tablet which would bring good luck. Though there were unending debates regarding the authenticity of the tales, it must be said that Marco Polo did what very few would venture at his time and age.
Well, guys, that's all from today's lecture. I hope you all have enjoyed it. Well, guys, if you have any query related to Marco Polo's discoveries or about his journey, you can ask me. All right. So, till then, take care of yourself. I will see you in your next lecture. Inshallah, in our next lecture, we guys will talk about another great adventurer or explorer, Ibn Battuta. Okay. So, till then, guys, do whatever you want to do, but make sure you're not creating trouble for your parents. So, happy Ramadan to all of you. Must remember me and your all teachers and your fellow students in your precious prayers. Allah Hafiz.